What's the first thing you'd buy if you won the lottery? A fancy car? A mansion? A private island? Now imagine a homeless person winning the lottery. Mind-blowing, right? Let's take a moment to ponder on the idea of a homeless person winning the lottery. Yes, you heard that right. And no, this isn't some Hollywood script we're talking about. In the world of chance and luck, where a single lottery ticket can turn the tables, such unexpected winners do exist. Picture this. You're homeless, living off the streets, every day is a struggle, and every meal a blessing. Then, out of the blue, you find yourself the lucky holder of the winning lottery ticket. Talk about a plot twist, right? Life is indeed like a roller coaster, and for these individuals it took them from the streets to the sweet life. One moment they're counting pennies and the next they're counting stacks of cash. It's a drastic change, a complete 180. A transformation that is as mind-boggling as it is inspiring. Now don't get us wrong. We're not advocating for homelessness or making light of the struggles faced by those living on the streets. Quite the contrary. This narrative serves to highlight the unpredictability of life and the power of luck. These stories are not just about winning money, they're about resilience, hope, and the human spirit's indomitable will. They show us that no matter how dire the circumstances, there's always a chance for change, for a better tomorrow. They remind us that life can be filled with unexpected turns, and sometimes, those turns can lead to a path paved with gold. Sure, these tales might sound like something out of a fairy tale or a Hollywood movie, but they're as real as it gets. And they make us wonder, what would we do if we were in their shoes? What would you do if you went from living on the streets to living the dream? From rags to riches, these stories are more than just fairy tales. They are real-life examples of how a single moment can change one's life forever. Let's dive into some real-life Cinderella stories, but with a twist. Instead of a glass slipper, we have a golden lottery ticket. Our first tale of fortune unfolds in the bustling streets of Chicago, where a man named Tom was grappling with the harsh realities of homelessness. Tom's life was far from the glitz and glamour of lottery winners we often hear about. His days were spent in survival mode, finding shelter under the city's towering skyscrapers, and seeking out scraps of food where he could. Then, one day, everything changed. Tom was given a lottery ticket by a kind stranger. It was a small act of kindness, one among many he had received in his life on the streets. But this ticket, it turned out, was different. It was a ticket to a new life. When he scratched off that shiny surface, he couldn't believe his eyes. The numbers matched. He had won. And not just a small amount. Tom had become an instant millionaire. His world, which had been narrowed down to the few blocks where he spent his days and nights, suddenly expanded beyond his wildest dreams. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the pure elation. One moment, you're wondering where your next meal will come from, and the next, you're a millionaire. It's a story that seems too good to be true, straight out of a Hollywood movie. But for Tom, it was a reality. His life took a 180-degree turn. With his winnings, he was able to leave the streets behind. He found a home, not just a place to sleep, but a place where he could build a life. He even started a small business, turning his newfound wealth into a source of ongoing income. Just like that, Tom went from being a homeless man in Chicago to a millionaire business owner. His story is a stark reminder of how quickly life can change, how a simple act of kindness can lead to unimaginable outcomes, and how luck sometimes can find us in the most unexpected places. So, our first lucky winner went from sleeping under the stars to living like a star. If you thought that was unbelievable, wait until you hear the next story. Now imagine this. A man, let's call him John, who's been living on the streets for the better part of a decade, scraping by, and doing odd jobs to make ends meet. Life has thrown him one curveball after another and he's just about ready to give up. But one day, as he's rummaging through the trash, he finds a discarded lottery ticket. He brushes off the dirt, squints at the numbers, and decides to check if it's a winner. He walks into a convenience store, his heart pounding in his chest. John hands over the ticket to the clerk, who scans it. A moment of silence is followed by a loud beep. The clerk's eyes go wide. John has just won a fortune. His luck has turned around in the most unexpected way. He's no longer a homeless man, he's a millionaire. Now, John's life changes dramatically. No more sleeping on cold benches or going to bed hungry. He's got a roof over his head, hot meals, and a comfy bed. He can afford new clothes, medical care, and even a few luxuries. He's living a life that he could only dream of before. But here's the twist. John doesn't forget where he came from. He uses his newfound wealth to help others who are in the same position he was once in. He sets up a foundation to help the homeless, providing them with food, shelter, and opportunities to turn their lives around. And the best part? John still plays the lottery, not because he needs more money, but because he wants to keep the magic alive. He wants to believe in the power of luck, the possibility of a better tomorrow, and the hope that life can change in an instant. So, there you have it. Another tale of a homeless person who went from rags to riches overnight, all thanks to a discarded lottery ticket. It's a story that proves that luck doesn't discriminate, that it can shine on anyone, anywhere, at any time. Talk about a change of fortunes, right? The lottery gods seem to have a soft spot for the homeless. Here's another extraordinary tale. Imagine this. You're down on your luck, living on the streets, and life seems like a never-ending struggle. Then out of the blue you find a lottery ticket. You brush the dust off it and voila, you're a millionaire. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? But for our next protagonist, this was a reality. In the heart of the city, amid the hustle and bustle, lived a man named Joe. Joe had had a rough life, with the streets being his home for as long as he could remember. But the thing about Joe was, he was a fighter. He had a heart full of hope and a spirit that refused to break. And one day, his life took a turn so dramatic, even Hollywood screenwriters would be envious. On a chilly winter morning, Joe found a lottery ticket in a discarded newspaper. With nothing to lose, he decided to check the numbers. The next thing he knew, he was holding a ticket worth millions. Yes, millions. Joe went from counting coins to counting stacks of green in the blink of an eye. Now you might be wondering, did Joe go on a spending spree? Buy a mansion perhaps? Or a fancy car? Well, you'd be surprised. Joe, in all his wisdom, decided to use his newfound wealth to help others. He set up a shelter for the homeless, providing a safe haven for those who were in the same shoes he once was. Talk about a plot twist, right? But the most extraordinary thing about Joe's story isn't the jackpot he won. It's his resilience, his generosity, and his unshakable belief in second chances. He proved that even when you're at rock bottom, you can rise, you can change, and you can make a difference. And that, my friends, is the beauty of life's unpredictable twists and turns. Just when you think you're out of luck, life might just surprise you with a jackpot. It's like the universe decided to play Santa Claus. The lottery doesn't discriminate, and sometimes it showers blessings where they're least expected. Allow me to tell you the remarkable story of a man named Hank. Hank was a regular guy who had fallen on hard times. A series of unfortunate events led him to lose his job, his home, and the life he had built for himself. Hank's new reality was one of cardboard boxes and soup kitchens, of uncertainty and despair. Yet, in the midst of this grim existence, Hank held on to a sliver of hope. Every week, he would scrape together enough change to buy a single lottery ticket. Despite the odds stacked against him, Hank believed in the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. Then, on one fateful day, as the autumn leaves were falling, Hank's persistence paid off. His weekly ritual of checking the numbers was met with disbelief as he stared at the winning ticket in his hand. His heart pounded in his chest, and his mind raced with the realization that his life was about to change dramatically. The penniless man who had been living on the streets was now a millionaire. But Hank's story didn't stop there. Unlike many who come into sudden wealth, Hank made sure he used his newfound fortune wisely. He secured a home, set up a trust fund for his future, and even established a foundation to help others who were in the position he once was. Hank's tale is a testament to the power of hope and perseverance. It reminds us that sometimes, when we least expect it, life can take a turn for the better. The lottery didn't just give Hank a pile of money, it gave him a second chance at life, a chance to rebuild and to make a difference. From penniless to prosperous, Hank's journey is a shining example of the unexpected twists and turns that life can take. It's a story that shows us the power of hope, the importance of perseverance, and the transformative potential of a simple lottery ticket. Well, it's safe to say that these lucky winners won't be needing a change of coins anytime soon. So, there you have it, folks. These were some unbelievable stories of homeless people who struck gold with the lottery. Let's take a moment to recap. We've heard about people who, despite their circumstances, found a streak of luck that changed their lives forever. From penniless to prosperous, these individuals saw a windfall that most of us can only dream of. We followed their jackpot journeys, each one unique and inspiring. These are not just lottery winners, but individuals who faced adversity head-on and emerged victorious. Their stories serve as a reminder that life can change in an instant, and that hope should never be lost, no matter the circumstances. Now here's a question for you. What would you do if you were in their shoes? Would you splurge the winnings or invest it wisely? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, every lottery ticket holds a chance to change a life.